Good morning. And welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading Sunday worship service. My name is Brooke Martino, and I am a member of the worship arts team. My pronouns are she and her. We choose to share our pronouns because we know people of all genders are holy, whole, and loved. We welcome you here today as we join together to create a space where we nurture and explore individual spirituality, build a committed and loving community, and help heal our world. If this is your first time with us, we are so happy that you have joined us. Please visit our webpage to learn more about our beloved community. There you can connect with our staff, or for those with us here in the sanctuary this morning, please come speak to any one of us you see up on the chancel in Fellowship Hall after the service. Please join us after service in Fellowship Hall for a brunch potluck, immediately followed by a workshop led by Reverend Evan Carville-Zemer to help us prepare for our next minister. Whoever you are, wherever you are from, whoever you love, whatever your faith tradition, you are welcome here. Please settle in so we may worship together this morning.
Thank you, Brooke. Good morning. My name is Reverend Laura Solomon. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I am the minister here at UUCR, and it is a privilege to serve this community and the world with you. I invite you to take a breath. Allow yourself to arrive here this morning. Maybe we take a second breath. Allow just a moment of stillness to enter. Our opening words come from the Reverend Leslie Takahashi. All that we have ever loved and all that we have ever been stands with us on the brink of all that we aspire to create, a deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy in this life we share. Let us worship together this morning. We light our chalice with Unitarian Universalists all around the globe. I invite you to call into your heart the flame you kindle this morning, the flame of love, of hope, of truth, of commitment to justice. Please join me in our chalice lighting words. They can be found on the laminated sheets in your pews. In the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, we gather this day. May the flame we now kindle be to us a symbol of the holiness we seek. Each week we recite our children's affirmation as a reminder of the most important elements of who we are. If anybody would like to join me in our children's affirmation this morning, you are welcome to come up. Oh, so many helpers. This is fantastic. Welcome, everybody. We are Unitarian Universalists, the Church of the open mind, the loving heart, and the helping hands. Thank you all. Please rise in body or in spirit. We are going to sing our opening hymn, number 1020, Wo Ya Ya. I invite anyone who would like to have a conversation with me to come forward. Hello, Gabriel. It's so good to see you. Come on up and have a seat. Oh, okay. That's fine. Hi, Jonah. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Isaac. Hello, Ethan. So good to see you all. So today in worship, and then again after worship, the grown-ups are going to be talking about something pretty important. We're talking about who we are and who we want to be. And we're talking about the next minister, the next person who will be in my role, and what the grown-ups hope that person will be like. So, you see, I have been here for 2 years. So that would be like if you started coming when you were 6. I was here for all of kindergarten and all of first grade, and I'm going to be here until June, which means I would be here until all of second grade is done too. And then when you come back in September, you will have a new minister up here talking with you. How do you feel when you get a new teacher at the beginning of the school year? What does that feel like? What do you think? You can feel nervous sometimes, absolutely. What do you think? You could feel like she was weird a little bit, for sure, absolutely. That is a thing that can happen, yep. You could be a little bit nervous, you could be a little bit excited, you could be a little bit unsure, right? You could also be excited about meeting somebody new and learning new things from somebody new. So is a school year a long time or a short time? What do you think? It's a pretty long time, isn't it? What do you think, Jonah? A whole year is a little too long. Yep, it is. It is a pretty long time. You are not wrong. You are not wrong. So our summer just ended, right? And the school year just started. And I will be here through the end of this school year. So we have a lot of time to learn and grow together. I'm thinking, though, about this job of minister. And I wonder what you think are the most important things a person does in that job, or what kind of person you would like to have in that job. This is going to be the work that the grown-ups are doing over the next several months, but I wanted to get your opinions first so we can write them down. Brooke is going to write them down for us so we can show the grown-ups all the things that you're thinking about that would be important. What do you think? What is important to you about the minister? What do you think, Ethan? Fun, absolutely. Fun is extremely important. I love that. What do you think, Jonah? Boring? I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? Happy, that is a great one. Happy, I like that. What about you? Makes people smile. I love that too. So when I was a kid, it was important to me that my minister, Reverend John, cared about me and my family, and that I could tell that he cared about me and my family. So I think it's important that a minister is caring. What do you think? Did that go on our list? Yeah, we got a thumbs up for caring. You have any other thoughts? What do you think, Jonah? Hold hands. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important that we reach out, that we hug other people, that we hold hands, we give high fives, that we let people know that we care about them. Yeah. It was also, oh, go ahead. Safety, absolutely. It's important that the minister is a person that you know is safe. Absolutely. Oh, there's one over here, Maddie. Respectful. I love that word. What do you think, Charlie? Good, absolutely. We want our minister to be a good person. That's exactly right. What do you think? Responsible. Holy cow, that's a great one. We want our minister to be responsible. I love that so much. Any other words? Do the grown-ups have any words they want to shout out too that can belong on our list? I think the kids covered it. Amazing, amazing. Jay says, how about the adults go to game day and the kids can go to the workshop? I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So this is an excellent list, and this is so important. As a minister, if I came into a church and I knew that this was the list kids came up with about what is important, I would be so excited to be joining that congregation, because it shows me that we have a group of really responsible and thoughtful and caring kids here. You can absolutely say connections. Absolutely, connections. Absolutely, I love it. Jonah, do you have one more? Oh, that we keep the chalice lighting. That's important, that we keep some of the things the same, right? Oh my gosh, you all are incredible. I love this. So I hope you all have so much fun at your first game day gathering of the year. That's right, the first game day of this year. You are going to have so much fun with Theo downstairs. Please join me in singing our children and youth to their classes. I love when the time for all ages works out exactly as I hoped. During our service, we light our candles of community, peace, and justice. We know these three things are far from the only three things our world needs, and yet we lift up these three: community, peace, and justice, and use them to center ourselves in our community and in the world. We light our red candle of community to signify our interconnection. Wherever you are in time or space, newcomer or longtime member, here in the sanctuary or joining us virtually, we light this candle holding you in love. As we take a breath and look upon this flame this morning, I invite you to speak aloud the name or names of people who are on your mind and heart today. We light our blue candle of peace for all the places worldwide where people live with the threat of war and violence. Yesterday was the United Nations 25th International Day of Peace. According to the Geneva Academy of International Humanitarian Law and Human Rights, there are currently 112 armed conflicts occurring in the world. The UN states that the International Day of Peace has always been a time to lay down weapons and observe ceasefires, but it now must also be a time for people to see each other's humanity. Our survival as a global community depends on that. We use this moment to remind ourselves not to turn away from our global neighbors, but to allow our hearts to crack open, that we might be moved to the next right personal action. And we light our yellow candle of justice. 2 Black women in Georgia, Amber Thurman and Candy Miller, died as a result of Georgia's abortion ban, the first reported deaths as a result of the Supreme Court's overturning of Roe v. Wade. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe in each person's right to health care. We believe in each person's right to autonomy. No one should fear receiving medical care, and no doctor should fear persecution for providing care. We remember these women and we say their names, praying for justice, care, safety, and autonomy for people of all genders. May all people everywhere live their lives in freedom. And may we each do our part in the work for justice and liberation for all in our global community. Let us each recommit ourselves to this work of love and justice by saying amen. Will you join me in a moment of prayer? Spirit of life and love, from whom all things come and to whom all things return. We gather this morning with so much on our hearts, so much in our families, so much in the world, so much in our community. We take this moment to breathe. We take this moment to listen to the prayers of our hearts that are asking to be known. We take this moment to open our hearts to the prayers of our neighbors, those prayers spoken and unspoken. We take this moment to ground ourselves in community, remembering that we are here for one another, that others are here for us. As we go out into this week, we ask that we are held gently and with love by this community and by the larger love that holds us all. Amen. If you would like to light a silent candle, you are welcome to come forward now.
So good to be with you again today. This reading is from Adrienne Marie Brown, Shaping Change, Shaping Worlds. Many of us respond to change with fear or see it as a crisis. Some of us anticipate change with an almost titillating sense of stress. We spend precious time thinking about what has changed that we didn't choose or can't control, or thinking ahead to future stress. The first question to ask ourselves is, how do we practice increasing our ease with what is? Change happens. Change is going to happen. No matter what we plan or expect or hope or set in place, we will adapt to that change or we will become irrelevant. My dream is a movement with such deep trust that we move as a murmuration, the way groups of starlings billow, dive, spin, dance collectively through the air to avoid predators, and it also seems to pass the time in the most beautiful way possible. When fish move in this way, they are shoaling. When bees and other insects move in this way, they are swarming. I love all the words for this activity. Here's how it works in a murmuration, shoal, swarm. Each creature is tuned into its neighbors, the creatures right around it in formation. This might be the birds on either side or the 6 fish in each direction. There is a right relationship, a right distance between them. Too close and they crash, too far away, and they can't feel the micro adaptations of the other bodies. Each creature is shifting direction, speed, and proximity based on the information of the other creature's bodies. There is a deep trust in this to lift because the birds around you are lifting, to live based on your collective real-time adaptations. In this way, thousands of birds or fish or bees can move together, each empowered with the basic rules and a vision to live. Imagine our movements cultivating this type of trust and depth with each other, having strategic flocking in our playbooks. Adaptation reduces exhaustion. No one bears the burden alone of figuring out what the next move is and muscling towards it. There is an efficiency at play. Is something not working? Stop. Change. If something is working, keep doing it, learning and innovating as you go. As an individual, developing your capacity for adaptation can mean assessing your default reactions to change, and whether those reactions create space for opportunity, possibility, and continuing to move towards your vision. I am not of the belief that everything happens for a reason, at least not a discernible one. It comforts me sometimes to know there is chaos, there is nonsense, but I believe that regardless of what happens, there is an opportunity to move with intention towards growth, relationship, and regeneration.
Draw the circle wide. No one
Our second reading is from the poet Padraig Otuma, The Facts of Life. That you were born and you will die, that you will sometimes love enough and sometimes not, that you will lie, if only to yourself, that you will get tired, that you will learn most from the situations that you did not choose, that there will be some things that move you more than you can say, that you will live, that you must be loved, that you will avoid questions most urgently in need of your attention, that you began as the fusion of a sperm and an egg of two people who once were strangers and may well still be, that life isn't fair, that life is sometimes good and sometimes even better than good, that life is often not so good, that life is real, and if you can survive it, well, survive it well, with love and art and meaning given where meaning's scarce, that you will learn to live with regret, that you will learn to live with respect, that the structures that constrict you may not permanently be constricting, that you will probably be okay, that you must accept change before you die, but you will die anyway. So you might as well live, and you might as well love, you might as well love, you might as well love.
I love you all. At our recent board retreat, your board did an exercise in which we looked at several pictures and shared with one another which image best represented our leadership. Some people were the knot, some were the listening ear, some were the busy worker bee, the bridge, the potter molding clay, and all for different reasons. Luckily, we went around twice and gave one another the opportunity to speak to which two images spoke to us. You know how us UUs like to bend the rules. But that was perfect for me because I actually think the two images that spoke to me work together to perfectly describe the job I have had here for the past 2 years. The first image was of a tiller, digging into the soil and stirring up the good, rich dirt. A tiller breaks up the soil to prepare it for planting. I think of tillers as loosening compacted soil, improving drainage, aerating the soil to prepare it for seeding or whatever comes next. The tiller is in the dirt, turning things over, breaking things up that might be stuck from how things were before, bringing new, fresh, healthy soil to the surface. The second image was of an eagle soaring. The eagle has a literal bird's eye view of what's going on down below. I Googled information about eagles' vision, and it's incredible if you want some interesting facts. They have a 340-degree visual field and 2 areas of acute vision in each eye, whereas we humans only have 1. They can see what's happening from far above with accuracy, and in such a way that they can see both the big pictures and the details down below. The bird's eye view and down in the soil, looking at the big picture and stirring things up, reflecting what I see from that vantage point, and also here with you, getting my hands dirty as we try to figure out the how and what of this time together. Together, we've been digging through what has been, what is. We're starting to imagine what can be. That has been the work of our time together. That is the work of ministry in 2024 in many ways, discovering the why and the how of church in the 21st century. That has particularly been the work institutionally here at UUCR. As most of you know, I was hired in the spring of 2022 and began as your 3/4 time minister in the August of 2022 with a 1-year contract. When I talked to the hiring team then, I remember telling them that I hoped to give UUCR a soft place to land, to find some stability between ministerial transitions, a time without a minister, and the pandemic. Of course you needed a soft place to land. In February of 2023, the board increased me to full-time, and we agreed to extend my contract for 2 years, through June of 2025. I was clear then, as I am now, that these 3 years I will spend at UUCR are seeing you through a transitional time. Folks, we hired so many people last year alone. Most of UUCR's program staff just started their first year with us. It's hard to believe, isn't it? A few months ago, if you were around then, you received a letter from me explaining this timeline and that my time at UUCR will end in June of 2025. I know some of you have heard this story, this timeline, multiple times, and I know that some of you are brand new and haven't heard this at all. Welcome. I keep reiterating this timeline because I think of this transition as a natural transition, one that has been clear, evolving, one that we have been moving towards together, even as it has been uncomfortable. I heard a friend recently refer to this type of transition as being like the transition of losing a tooth when you're 6 years old. You know it's going to happen. You might be a little bit excited about it. And also there's a whole bunch of fear because holy cow, a tooth is going to fall out of your mouth? What is the world even coming to? There are other sorts of transitions, like the one I had at age 5 when I knocked my front teeth out on a shopping cart. Definitely not expected in that moment, kind of premature, would have happened anyway, but certainly more traumatic than it needed to be. Ever since that email that went out in May, I've been trying to keep that eagle-eye view on what's happening in the congregation. I've been trying to stay up there on the balcony, as they say, watching what's happening. And here's what I see. I see an institution that is changing, that is transforming in so many ways. I see people asking questions about who we are and who we want to be. I see people asking questions about why we do things the way we do them and what of that serves our current needs. This is the work institutions are required to do constantly: adapt, change. This is the work we all must do to remain relevant in this late-stage capitalist, pandemic-changed 21st century world. When I come back down to the rich, beautiful soil, though, I see people who are committed to this church and to one another. I see people who love Unitarian Universalism, who are proud of our church and its history, and the work Unitarian Universalists are doing for change in the world. I see some people who have found their stride or are finding their stride, people who know who they are called to be, the work they are called to do in the church, in the community, and in the world. And I also see people moving forward with trepidation. And of course you are. Change is scary, and the whole dang world is constantly changing and leaving us to figure out how to handle it. Here in this beautiful, rich, churned and churning soil, I see people who feel unsure of their place. Who am I in this institution if my committee, my project, my group of favorite people no longer meets? Who am I in this institution when we had to say goodbye to so many of my friends, to my husband, to my wife last year? Who am I in this institution if I am no longer the only holder of information or technical know-how? Who am I if I no longer feel called or am no longer able to fill the role I filled before? Who am I? Who are we? Where do I fit? Where do I belong? Do I fit? Do I belong? As is the case with every ministry and every minister, there are some of you who I have disappointed. There are some of you who are looking forward to this transition, to the next person who might fill this role. You too are in this conversation and welcome here. And there are some of you who are hurt. Many of you have asked me why or how we continue to be in relationship until June. Some of you have told me that you have pulled or are pulling or intend to pull away because this transition is just one too many in your life, in the life of this congregation. Because knowing this relationship or sense of stability will end is too much. Is it worth it? I hear you asking. Is it worth staying? Is it worth the anxiety? Is it worth the disruption? As I stand here with you, my fingers reaching into the good, fertile soil of this congregation, I can't answer that question for you. As I have said to more than one of you, I am not here to convince you one way or another, but to support your discernment. And maybe to remind you of what the poet Brooke shared with us earlier. That life is sometimes good, and sometimes better than good. That often life is not so good. That the structures that constrict you may not be permanently constricting, that you will probably be okay. That you must accept change before you die, but you will die anyway. So you might as well live, he says. And you might as well love. You might as well love. You might as well love. Last week, our reading reminded us that we are in church to learn to love better. This is our spiritual practice, not just of being in community together, but of being humans existing in the world. We are here to learn to love better. Not longer, necessarily, not statically, not in a way that is perfect for a closed community of a special few, but in a way that ripples out into the world so we might live the change we are seeking, so we might live the love we are seeking. I am a better minister and a better person for having served you for the past 2 years. I will be an even better person and an even better minister after I have served you for the next 9 months. What I can see from the ground is that each of you is a bird finding your place in this murmuration. You're finding the right place, the right distance at which you can fly so you both won't crash and so you can feel the adaptations happening in those around you without being overwhelmed. Each of us has a different distance. Sometimes we might need to try a few different things, which means we may bump along the way. Nobody said birds were perfect. Most importantly, Adrienne Marie Brown reminds us that no one bears the burden alone of figuring out the next move and muscling towards it. Together, we are learning to trust, to lift because the birds around us are lifting, to speed up to the speed of others around us, and to slow when we know it is needed, trusting that others will feel our slowing and slow if it is right for the whole. Empowered by our covenant, by our values, by our common humanity and mission and vision that bring us together, we are learning the art of trust, of relationship, not for the first time, but for the first time today, the first time now, the first time in this particular configuration, with this particular weather pattern, with this particular group of souls. I remind you, too, that we are not the only ones learning the art of murmuration. In fact, when I have that eagle's eye view, I can see that we are one bird in the flock of liberal religion, learning to trust and to find our way. So we might as well love, friends. Love ourselves and one another. In this messy and imperfect, beloved community that is ever changing, in this messy and imperfect world that is ever changing, ever shifting, ever trying to find its way, we might as well love. Amen.
Each Sunday, UUCR gives away half the money received in the collection plate to a nonprofit organization that shares our UU values. It's a simple yet powerful way for each of us to help heal the world. Our Share the Plate recipient for the month of September is Beyond Tops. Beyond Tops is an organization in Wilmington whose sole purpose is to integrate children with mental and physical disabilities into the community through sports, including soccer, basketball, and bowling. Beyond Tops was nominated for Share the Plate by Angela Figueredo. She says Gabriel, our 4-year-old autistic child, participates in this program and it has enabled him to play soccer and bowling and to make new friends. Please give as generously as you are willing and able to our Share the Plate offering to support both Beyond Tops and the mission of UUCR. Our congregation survives and thrives through the gifts of those who call this place their spiritual home. If you are here with us in the sanctuary, you may put your gift in the plate as it goes by. Otherwise, you can make your gift online or send a check. Please give as generously as you are willing and able to share the plate offering to support Beyond Tops and the mission of UUCR. If this is your first time with us, your presence is gift enough. I am not Melissa Martin, but I will be sharing with you her congregational life for this week. There are a few save the dates for you, but first I would like to welcome Jay White and Kevin Keeling up to share a music ministry invitation with you.
Good morning. My name is Jay White. My pronouns are she and hers, and I am the chair of UUCR's music committee. I joined the choir in 2015.
Hi, my name is Kevin Keeling. My pronouns are he and his, and I chaired last year's music director hiring committee, and I joined the choir 2012, maybe?
Ish.
Yeah.
He had to do some backwards math to figure that one out. The only reason I remember is because I was pregnant. Kevin and I were asked to speak today because we are two of the 3 choir members with school-aged children. Shout out to Rachel Fetters. We know that balancing family, work, and other commitments can be a challenge, but we want to encourage you, especially those of you with busy lives like ours, to consider joining the choir. Personally, I couldn't make this work without the support of my husband, Will, who's downstairs at RE, and some serious reliance on Google Calendars. I suspect Kevin's experience is similar, spousal support and lots of calendar management.
The choir is a wonderful way to connect with the community, and it's flexible enough to fit into the most hectic of schedules. We're currently preparing for our Holiday Music Sunday on December 15th, where we will be singing selections from Handel's Messiah. Rehearsals start this Thursday at 7:30, and the first 45 minutes will be dedicated to preparing for that special service.
So whether you're able to commit long-term or just want to join us for Music Sunday, which we welcome, we'd love to have you. And there are no auditions necessary, just a willingness to sing. It's a great way to add some musical joy into your life, and the support of our community makes it possible to balance everything.
If singing or group singing isn't your thing, we're also looking for instrumentalists and featured musicians to share their talents in worship. Music is an essential part of our spiritual life, and we'd love to have you be part of it. Feel free to talk to us after the service or join us at rehearsal. All are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay and Kevin. Lay leaders, a friendly reminder that tomorrow is the October newsletter submission deadline, as it will come out this Thursday. Now for our save the dates. Our fall session religious education classes begin on Sunday, October 6th, for children from nursery through grade 6. If you haven't registered yet for this 6-class series, look for the registration link in the newsletter or see Kimberly. UUCR is committed to creating and fostering connections among congregants, and we love to highlight these opportunities with an annual Connections Fair. Please join us on Sunday, October 6th for our fair immediately following our 10 a.m. service. If you are a church leader with a committee, team, project, or event that you wish to have represented, please see the form in the newsletter. Save the date for our Chalice Circle kickoff event on Sunday, October 27th. Chalice Circles have been a vital part of our congregational life here at UUCR for many years, where a group of usually 4 to 10 members meet once or twice a month, led by a fellow congregant, using our Soul Matters small group curriculum. Each meeting is structured and includes a check-in, a reading, and a discussion of members' reactions, reflections, and thoughts about the readings. In the last church year, we hosted 4 active Chalice Circles and have the potential of more forming this year. Join us to learn more about these groups and to sign up for a Chalice Circle that will begin meeting in November. Our 2024 Kris Kringle Fair will be on Saturday, November 9th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And in the weeks to come, you will hear of opportunities to volunteer, buy raffle tickets, and donate goods. This week, our Jewelry Elves request that you begin bringing in your donated jewelry treasure for resale and drop them off in the baskets in the church atrium when you're here on Sundays. Next Sunday, join us for our first community chapel at 10 a.m. And for today, immediately after service, please stay for our brunch potluck before Reverend Evan Carville-Zemer leads us in a workshop designed towards discovery, discernment, and direction, setting to get us all thinking about who we have been, who we are, and where we would like to go to prepare for our next minister. We have extended childcare for today's discussion courtesy of our nursery staff. Children are invited to participate in our brunch potluck, and then Denise and Olena will lead children over to Sawyer House to play, while adults participate in this important workshop. We hope you will join us. Thank you for being a vital part of our congregational life. And now please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, number 1028 in your teal hymnal, The Fire of Commitment.
Amen. I'd like everybody to just take a breath with me and maybe shake out some of the energy that we're holding. Evan told me that they are wearing their fun shirt. So please prepare for fun at this workshop and fun with our potluck. It has been so long since we have had a potluck here, and I am so excited and amazed by your generosity that we're making that all happen today. We are going to extinguish our chalice. The words are on your laminated sheets. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. We return to those words we started with from the Reverend Leslie Takahashi. All that we have ever loved and all that we have ever been stands with us on the brink of all that we aspire to create: a deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy in this life we share. Go in peace.